have several videos on my channel on covering these jars. These are spice jars from my grocery store. And when we finish using the spices, I cover the jar. I save all my jars and containers from the kitchen. You'd be amazed of what you can do with them. So I put my large cane slices, because this is working with these canes that one was large and one was small, but it was the same cane. I'd reduced it down. Match it up. I'm not going to match it on this side right here. There's a little curved side. I'm going to add another one of these trims on there. But I am going, this happens to fit right across, or I can stretch it to go right across. And make sure it's even with the bottom. And this, putting canes on glass or ceramic, is a permanent bond if you cover it all the way around. It's called a mechanical bond. And the thing with the mechanical bond is it has to be touching everywhere. All of your cane slices needs to be placed on here to where everything is covered all the time. Now I will take this one off. I don't think that one matches up with that one. Now that's how easy they are to get off. Let's try this again with this slice. And you just match up your canes. This actually is a pretty good one to match up. You have several places you can match. And not going to fit all the way up to the top. So I'm going to put it on. I'm going to press it down. I'm going to take my little cane bender, roll over them, join the canes, the slices together. Make sure they're attached to my glass. And as long as you cover it all the way around, they're not going to come off, and you don't have to put anything underneath them. I will take my blade and I'm going to cut right here where my jar lid, my jar top stops. Okay, let me make sure this one is the same as all of them. Now I did part of these already because I've got 3 different ones to show you with the same canes. And I've done several videos before on the jars and bottles and things. But I just wanted to reinforce it one more time that this is something that we can do. And it's very easy, and just save your bottles and stuff out of the kitchen and you'll be fine. So I'm going to place this. This is a scrap clay blue. And I took one of my little strips again that I used on my box. This is a little strip of Lisa Pavelka's texture sheet. And I cut these in 2. There was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different edgings. And I liked them so well, but I found them easier to use if I cut them in 2. Now I have my design on there. And I think I'm going to take, let's see how far I can get around with this one. Because I think it just needs to, oh, that'll go all the way around. Good. I think this just, oh, there's another piece I need to put on there first. I didn't see that. You all almost let me get by with that, didn't you? Just press it on, make sure it's on the sides. Okay, now let's put this little strip. See, I just didn't think that it looked finished up here on top at all. And this is all raw clay to raw clay, so no adhesive is needed, no liquid clay or well-bond glue or anything. And I'm just going to take this right around here and match it up. And run my little cane bender over it. Right there where it joins. Okay, and I'm going to leave this lid silver, I do believe. I need to pull this one down a little bit. Just take the back of your blade and make sure everything's down and straight and everything else. Make sure your edges are all connected here. Now this one's ready to bake. So I'm going to take some silver mica powder. Since my jar lid is silver, just put a little on my finger and just go over this design just a little bit. That's just hitting the raised parts. Because I will put deep shine on all of this. Deep shine is waterproof. It doesn't yellow. A lot of the Varathane sealers will yellow after a while. Just a little bit on there. Just using what's in the lid. I'm just hitting that little rim as a hit and miss type thing. Okay. Now, this one is ready to bake. So this is a pepper tin that black ground pepper comes in. And I covered one before, as I showed you, I believe. And I wanted to show you, all of these are the larger cane slices. And I already put them on. And I used well-bond glue to put these on with because this is going on metal. And you're going to have a more secure seal because you are doing another mechanical bond, covering everything. I just used one of my little craft knot sticks here and spread it out. You want to make sure you get it down here at the bottom. And especially on these rounded corners. Okay, let's work on the pepper tin. This was a tin little can that ground black pepper came in at the grocery store. And when I finished using the pepper in it. I'll save the can. Since it is metal, I'm putting well-bond glue on there. And I'm also putting, because I'm using 2 canes, the front side has the larger cane on it. Same design, just the larger version. And the back side is going to have the smaller version. So it'll be half in the large and half in the small, because I wanted to show you how to, you could do a couple of different canes on here. That doesn't have to all be the same cane. And I rolled this clay out on a number 3. My other I rolled out on a number 2 on my bottle, because I wanted it a little bit thicker. But this I wanted more, a little bit thinner, so it would match up with the canes a little bit better. And it wouldn't have such an edge standing up. Now, there we go. And just make sure it's all down. I will cut the bottom off right here. And things like this is so simple and so quick to do. And they make such cute little gifts. Or you can use them in your kitchen. Make a bunch of canes to match your kitchen and put them back in your kitchen. I make my own taco seasonings and stuff like that. So I'm always using these type of things. And we'll start at the bottom first with this, because I can cut off the top if it doesn't match up, or it's not going to be long enough. Is what it's not going to be. The containers, I don't think it's going to take an even amount of slices. Just match up your pattern. Make sure that it all slides into place and lays flush with each other. I have like a little blue tiny flower right there. I can match up right there. And as long as your glue is still wet, you can manipulate these where you need to be. And for right now, until this dries, I'm going to cut it off at the top, but we'll have to cut it off a little further down to get the lid back on. Make sure there's no air bubbles underneath there. And I'm going to, I think you can see it. This is a strip just from my texture sheet. And I will put this blue one here to divide the larger canes and the smaller canes. As long as your glue is still wet, you can manipulate the canes where they need to go. That's not a problem. I'll just continue matching these. And that line of division is, you don't necessarily need it unless you've got 2 or 3 different cane styles going on. And if you have a little gap where your 4 tiles meet up, just press them together. You can really roll them together when you get a roller on there, which I'll do momentarily. Straighten this side up a little bit, this one down a little bit. Guess that's it. It didn't look right at first. Now this is only going to fit part way over. So I'm going to cut it right where this strip is. And mark that down in there. And all these cane pieces will go into my, or the scraps from the canes will go into my scrap pile. And that's what I'll make jewelry out of. When you've been in this a long time, you end up making a lot of jewelry, believe me. Let me see, I need one more small one. Here we go. I just need that little bit right there. Is that what I need? Yeah. That's my match. One piece sticks to your clay. Just take your blade right underneath there and peel it off. Okay, I'll take my little cane bender and I'll roll them. And it's the same thing to do anything, the jars, the tins, the bottles. It's the same process. You just match up your canes and put them on. But just remember, a mechanical bond is needed on glass or ceramic. Whether you're doing a ceramic bowl or a dish or a mug or anything, and you plan on using it for anything, it needs to have a mechanical bond. Most glues will not hold. And you don't want to make something and sell it or give it away and it fall apart. Okay, so here's this box finished. Here's the large cane slices on this side and the smaller ones on this side. And it looks the same. So if you have a cane that's small and large, you could do that, or even different colors and stuff. Now this is the lid that goes back on here. And I think like 1/4 of an inch. So I can lay it on my grid and get it straight. And look at my lines. Let me get a larger blade. If y'all don't have one of these, this is from Tiny Pandora. And it's a really long sturdy blade. It's not a tissue blade, so if you're cutting cane slices and stuff to where you need a firmer blade, that's the one you need. And these little blades, they're called the Tiny Mighties, Mighty Tinies or Tiny Mighties. And they are really good and handy too. They're small and they're a lot easier to work with, I think. Okay, now I've got to wait for that glue to dry before I put that lid on there, or that lid's going to be glued on there and not come off. Now I'm just going to match these up. This is just like the box. You've got to make sure that your lid's going to fit. Let me see if I can get this on there real quick and take it off so it doesn't dry. But there's something in my lid right here. There we go. Okay. Now my lid's on. And if it's a little bit short, just push it up there. Especially if your glue's still dry or wet. Okay, and just a little bit of silver mica. Just to bring out that design just a little bit. You know, I'd love to put rhinestones and glitter and stuff on these because they're so cool. But using them in a kitchen, I don't think so. Okay, so I'm going to take my lid back off. Let this dry. And that's ready to bake. Okay, now to the bottle. Same canes. The only thing I added was this little cane that I had reduced down so much that I was telling you about earlier. And I've made my spiral, well, they are spiral, but my edging on here. Same thing. And no need to put any liquid clay or anything on there. Now this is a little bit different. This is going up straight, and once we get to this row, it starts curving in a little bit, so you need to be careful of what you're matching up here because the curve does make a difference. Let me straighten this back down and keep these straight up here and keep your sides straight. And just sort of work with them, and you can get them to where they need to be. It's just a little bit harder than it is if it's a straight coming up, straight circumference on your bottles and stuff. Let's see if this is straight to begin with. Because it looks straight, but I'm not sure that it was. There we go. I'll roll over this one a little bit because that's overlapping a little bit, but because of the curve I needed to do that. I need to bring this part back some, and you can just work it up in there. And be careful while you're working on this not to take your design off your texture sheet you put on there. But I thought a 3-piece set for the kitchen would be a nice gift for somebody. So they all match in their own way. They're all the same colors and all the same canes. And there's blue. My kitchen's blue and gray, so these just may stay in my kitchen. Okay, now this one's going to have to be worked in there. So I can take this one over some. Straighten it up. Okay, I'm going to match up this side. Because that's the side that's got the flower on it. Let me shorten this. Oh, this one doesn't look as long. I'll match it up right there. And then I'm going to go down, bring this bottom up, and I'm actually going to cut it off right where it meets up with this one. Okay. And I'm going to roll over it with my cane bender. sure everything's down. I'm going to go around and even this top off just by pushing down with my blade. This may be a little bit taller right here. Got that cut on. Now I'm going to do one more blue strip because it will go right here, and then we'll do that other cane going around the neck of the bottle. And I've got a piece already rolled out. Got my texture sheet. And we'll press down real hard. I really like to put my clay on top of my texture sheets. But it's a little bit easier to do that when you've got more of a texture sheet to work with. So just take your time and make sure you get a really good impression with that. And the neck of the bottle is so much thinner that it should only take one strip. This will fill in right up here. It may take more than one strip. A little piece more, and I bet I've got it with one of these pieces. Always save what you cut out, especially if there's a design on it. Let me straighten this up a little bit. Now I can match that up right there. Okay, that's all going around that. Now I'm going to add these cane slices to it, and again I'm matching these up. You can use any canes that you have. This would look cool to do in, if you had a place to where you could do all these different canes, to do a retro cane with an extruder to put on there. And have your different colors of retro canes. Why are these shorter? Evidently these two I put on the wrong way because they're shorter. Now if you turn them right, they match up, don't they? all these little squares in the same colors. It's a little bit hard to find out where you're matching up. Okay, I'll cut this one off. This is a good one to cut off, but you can cut it off on the design. I'm just going to lightly roll over all this. I need for it to match better right here, so I can roll it into place. Do some mica powders. Just barely rub it across it. Put some color on there. And down the sides of it. And if you get glue on your cane bender or knitting needle or whatever you use to do this with, make sure you wipe it off before it dries on there. And I'm going to match this one up with the middle and bring it down. And just gently rolling over it. Make sure there isn't air bubbles underneath them and you've got all the air out and they're right on that metal lid. Remember, do not clean your plexiglass tools of any kind with rubbing alcohol. Use soap and water. Alcohol will eventually make them crack. Okay, I will cut this one in quarters and see if that will work. I don't know if it will or not. Let me see. I'll press it in there first and then cut it off, I think. Because I thought this little design would do quite well on this little cap. I'm just going to cut them where they meet. And roll it in there. Roll it down and join them together. Okay, so there's my little lid. Before I spill this glue, let me get it out of the way. Here's the lid for this bottle. And I thought that looked pretty good. And with the design being small, you can fake it till you make it. No, they all pretty well matched up. So here's my set. Let me get all this out of here. This will all become scraps in my pile now. And I'm done with these canes. And I'm done with the pink and blue canes after I get my bracelet made. And that's coming up next is all the jewelry I've made from this. Okay, here's my set. Here's my pepper can, my spice jar, and my bottle. And all matching canes. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Save your bottles and your cans. Until next time, thanks for watching, you all. Blessings.